prestigious one and only kitchen with executive chef Roberto Carvalho. It is right.
That's right, yes.
Carvalho. Welcome to Food and Wine Radio.
Thank you very much.
Roberto, what are you preparing for us today?
Today we're going to do a grilled king clip, sort of summerish type of salad. I like a lot of chilies, being from Portuguese. And at the moment we've still got some good peaches and nectarines. So I want to do like a caramelized, chilied peach and nectarine king clip salad.
I'm salivating. Roberto, just take us through your history. Who is Roberto Carvalho? Where do you come from? I believe you used to work in Johannesburg as well, and prior to that?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Johannesburg and went to school in Johannesburg and worked my way through a couple of hotels. Didn't go to hotel school, did in-service training for 4 years with Protea Hotels. Worked a couple of hotels, came to Cape Town, back to Joburg, back to Cape Town, and I've been here for 12 years now.
Probably not going back to Joburg?
Proudly. It's too crazy, dude.
You're now the executive chef for the one and only. Obviously, it's a huge responsibility because it's not just one dining area that you're dealing with. Take us through a day in the life of Roberto.
I don't think you've got enough time. Obviously, we've got Nobu, we've got Rubens, we've got Vista Bar, Vista Lounge, we've got banqueting, conferencing, in-room dining, even outside catering. So there's a lot of things that happen. And outside catering...
Okay. Go on.
The show must go on.
Executive chef for the one and only, that is a huge responsibility. Obviously, you're dealing with more than one dining area. Take us through the day in the life of Roberto Carvalho.
Well, it depends what time I start in the day.
Yeah.
If I start on an early shift, which starts at 6 a.m., in the Rubens restaurant, we serve a breakfast there for all our in-house guests, which most days we're doing 200 plus, some days up to 300 for breakfast. And obviously we're doing a great 5-star standard. So it's making sure that all the breakfast chefs are in, making sure that everything looks absolutely immaculate, making sure that everybody that's coming down for breakfast is going to be 100% happy. Also on a daily basis, we have 3 to 4 different banqueting functions, conferencing. There's in-room dining that I'm responsible for as well. We've got the 2 restaurants in the hotel, Nobu and Rubens. We've got an island restaurant called Isola as well, which services the pool, and there's a restaurant there as well. In-room dining, obviously, for the whole hotel. Banqueting, we have a ballroom and meeting rooms and boardrooms, and it's just crazy. We do outside catering as well, which here at the one and only is outside catering is normally on a catamaran or a yacht so it's always making sure that it's not just sending food out to another venue, it's making sure that it's stuff that can go out to sea and be enjoyed and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Now, I believe you are an advocate for something called fynbos cooking. Take us through what fynbos cooking is.
Who told you about that?
Word gets around.
Well, I've been in Cape Town now for 12 years, 12 going on 13 years, and I was for 10 years, I started at the Oudekroll Hotel, which then became the 12 Apostles Hotel. So 10 years I spent there, a whole decade. I think I did a lot of my growing up there. And having, if you know the hotel, as I'm sure you do, there's plenty of fynbos around.
Absolutely.
There's no walls, there's no fences, so I used to go out the back of the kitchen and you're in the mountain. You can go looking. In the beginning we used to clear away small sections to plant our normal rosemary and thyme, and then after 2-3 years you start to see, but there's other stuff growing here, maybe there's things that we could use. And I got hold of a guy called Wim Tuymans, he was a botanist and horticulturist from Stellenbosch University, and he's quite an eccentric guy, as he would be, and he likes his herbs, his wild herbs, and he sort of went around the mountain with me, showing what we can use, what we can't use, what we must stay away from, that sort of thing.
Wow, a man who lives, breathes, and obviously cooking. Is it in your life? Is it in your blood? Is it something that you actually took up as a career? Do you believe that it is just a career or ultimately a lifestyle for you?
It's a lifestyle, it's a career, it's everything. I think from the time I was 10 years old, I said to my parents, I'm going to be a chef. You know, when you're 10 years old, you tell your parents that, they say, okay. It's like saying I want to be a fireman or be a doctor or whatever. But it's something that I stuck with. My grandfather used to cook in the Portuguese army, and when they came to Mozambique, he was cooking, and he used to tell me stories about how they cooked for all the officers and how the things that they had to do, and it sounded interesting. And you know, obviously listening to stories from Grandpa gives you inspiration for things. Also, looking at my mother, my grandmother, it's a Portuguese family. We live for food. Portuguese, Italians, food is life. There's no get together just to have a get together and just a glass of wine. There's always going to be food.
Obviously, with the Inter-Hotel Challenge that Cape Legends is currently sponsoring, they believe in mentorship. They believe, obviously, in upskilling and obviously providing that background and support for your candidates or your candidate's chef in this regard. How important is it for you in your kitchen, in your industry, to obviously be maintaining that?
It's extremely important because I look already, in total, I've been in this industry probably about 19 years now. So 19 years have gone like that. And I think the way you get judged is not about how great you are and what your reviews are. I say if you look back at the guys you've left behind, that you've imparted your knowledge with, that you've taught something to, that you've made their lives better, shown them something different, maybe inspired somebody else to become a chef. It's the way to go forward. I think that's the legacy that anybody should be looking for, not for having the biggest amount of awards on the mantelpiece, but how many people you've trained and helped to come up in the world.
Absolutely. Now, if somebody is looking up to you, you may realize or not realize you obviously are a mentor to other people. What would you say it takes to get to this point in your life?
I'm still getting there, I think. I think when you decide and you think to yourself, okay, I've arrived, I'm there, I've done what I want to do, I think then you're ready to get in a box and get in the ground.
Yeah.
If you carry on just trying to improve yourself and improve people around you and carry on living.
Does a chef have a favorite dish at all?
No. It depends on the mood, depends on the time of the year. We're going to dinner at my parents' house tomorrow night. My mother asked me this morning, what do you want to eat tomorrow? I said, oxtail. So I love oxtail. And the way she makes it is my favorite.
Wow.
I never cook oxtail. Not for myself, obviously in the hotel when we have to, but yeah, and I can already, you see, food is like, I'm already thinking about that meal tomorrow night with the family. And it's not just about the meal, it's about the interaction between the family. It's all uncles and aunties and cousins and everybody. But the meal is like the focus of bringing everybody together.
Absolutely. Now, continuing to be part of this great Inter-Hotel Challenge, what can you say we should expect in 2014? What kind of words of wisdom are you obviously getting down there, especially with your candidate chef? What can we expect from him?
He's asked me not to divulge too much because this is also one of his first competition.
Yeah.
So, I've worked with many young guys. We've brought guys from scrubbing pots to being part of the National Culinary Junior team. We've done lots of things like this. So we are working with him a little bit just to get things together, and I think there's too much competition to divulge too much.
Thank you so much for your time, Roberto.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for yours.